Hello everyone, I'm Vincent from Musundu Free English. Thanks for clicking, and welcome to this lesson on passive voice versus active voice. In this video I will break down everything you need to know in a simple way. Passive voice. A verb is in the passive voice when the subject of the sentence is acted on by the verb. A. How to form the passive. The passive voice in English is composed of two elements. The appropriate form of the verb to be plus the past participle of the verb in question. Examples: the hospital, subject, was, verb to be, built, past participle, simple present. The hospital, subject, is, verb to be, cleaned, past participle, every day. Present continuous, the hospital is being cleaned at the moment. Simple past, the hospital was cleaned yesterday. Past continuous, the hospital was being cleaned last month. Present perfect, the hospital has been cleaned since you left. Past perfect, the hospital had been cleaned before they arrived. Future, the hospital will be cleaned next month. Future continuous, the hospital will be being cleaned tomorrow. Present conditional, the hospital would be cleaned if they had visitors. Past conditional, the hospital, subject, would have been, verb to be, cleaned if it had been dirty. Note, to be born is passive form and is commonly used in the past tense. I was born in 1977. When were you born? But, around 400 babies are born in this hospital every month. Infinitive form, infinitive of to be plus past participle, to be cleaned. This form is used after modal verbs and other verbs normally followed by an infinitive, e.g., you have to be tested on your grammar. Peter might be promoted next week. He wants to be invited to the seminar. Gerund or ing form, being plus past participle, being cleaned. This form is used after prepositions and verbs normally followed by a gerund. Examples: most movie stars hate being interviewed. I remember being taught to read. The children are excited about being taken to the stadium. Note, sometimes the passive is formed using the verb to get instead of the verb to be. She got arrested for dangerous overtaking. They're getting married later this month. I'm not sure how the door got broken. B. How to use the passive voice. The passive voice is used to show interest in the person or object that experiences an action rather than the person or object that performs the action, e.g., the bridge was built in 2007. We're interested in the bridge, not the builder. The floor is being repaired. We're interested in the floor, not the person repairing it. In other words, the most important thing or person becomes the subject of the sentence. Sometimes we use the passive voice because we don't know or cannot express who or what performed the action. We noticed that a door had been left open. Every month people are killed on our roads. If we want to say who or what performs the action, we use the preposition by. The River Between was written by Ngugi. CT was directed by Vincent. The passive voice is often used in formal or scientific texts. Examples: this planet is wrapped in a mass of gases. Generated waste materials are disposed of in a variety of ways. C. Passive voice with get/have something done. This construction is passive in meaning. It may describe situations where we want someone else to do something for us. Examples: where are you going to get that door mended? We're having the floor painted. I must get/have my hair cut. If the verb refers to something negative or unwanted, it has the same meaning as a passive sentence. Remy had his car stolen last night. Equals Remy's car was stolen. We had our roof blown off in the storm. Equals our roof was blown off in the storm. The construction can refer to the completion of an activity, especially if a time expression is used. Examples: I'll get the work done as soon as possible. They'll get those letters typed before 5 p.m. In all these sentences, we're more interested in the result of the activity than in the person or object that performs the activity. X needs doing. In the same way, this construction has a passive meaning. The important thing in our minds is the person or thing that will experience the action, e.g., the floor needs painting. Equals the floor needs to be painted. Your hair needs cutting. Equals your hair needs to be cut. D. Passive tenses and active equivalents. Notice that the tense of the verb to be in the passive voice is the same as the tense of the main verb in the active voice. Examples: tense/verb form. Active voice versus passive voice. Simple present, builds, is built, present continuous, is building, is being built. Simple past, built, was built. Past continuous, was building, was being built. Present perfect, have built, have been built. Past perfect, had built, had been built. Future, will build, will be built. Conditional present, would build, would be built. Conditional past, would have built, would have been built. Present infinitive, to build, to be built. Perfect infinitive, to have built, to have been built. Present participle/gerund, building, being built. Perfect participle, having built, having been built. Example sentences: active, I keep the margarine in the fridge. Passive, the margarine is kept in the fridge. Active, they stole the phone. Passive, the phone was stolen. Active, they're repairing the floor. Passive, the floor is being repaired. Active, Shakespeare wrote Hamlet. Passive, Hamlet was written by Shakespeare. Active, a cat bit him. Passive, he was bitten by a cat. E. Personal and impersonal passive. Personal passive simply means that the object of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive sentence. So every verb that needs an object, transitive verb, can form a personal passive. Examples: they build hospitals. Hospitals are built. Verbs without an object, transitive verb, normally cannot form a personal passive sentence, as there's no object that can become the subject of the passive sentence. If you want to use an intransitive verb in passive voice, you need an impersonal construction, therefore this passive is called impersonal passive. Example: she says, it is said. Impersonal passive is not as common in English as in some other languages, e.g. Swahili, Latin. In English, impersonal passive is only possible with verbs of perception, e.g. say, think, know. Example: they say that ladies live longer than gentlemen. It's said that ladies live longer than gentlemen. Although impersonal passive is possible here, personal passive is more common. Example: they say that ladies live longer than gentlemen. Ladies are said to live longer than gentlemen. The subject of the subordinate clause, ladies, goes to the beginning of the sentence, the verb of perception is put into passive voice. The rest of the sentence is added using an infinitive construction with certain auxiliary verbs and that are dropped. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe for more grammar tips and lessons, and don't forget to like and share if this lesson helped you. Good luck and keep practicing.